All right. All right. So let's talk about why I am living in my car, um, and what led me here. So let's start from the top to how I got here, and I'm gonna try not to ramble on. All right. So first off, during training, right before we finished training, flight attendant training, there were me and two other girls. We had connected, and we decided that once we got to our base, we were going to try to look for an apartment together, and we were all going to get an apartment and move in together. And we talked about how we would probably work that out. I was vocal about how I like my own personal space and how I would like my own bedroom. So we could either find a 3-bedroom, and they're like, we could find a 2-bedroom, and they were okay with sharing a room. So whatever worked for us and whatever we could find. So if we could find something within a budget that we were trying to make for ourselves that seemed reasonable as far as the price, the distance from the airport, because we all had different vehicles. You know, some vehicles are gas guzzlers, some are like, girl, this gas will last me for 2 weeks straight. It don't matter where I go. And then just, location and something of quality. It didn't have to be top notch, but just, yeah. So then we graduated training. We still have our plan on trying to find an apartment together. So we get to our base. You get a hotel for a certain amount of time that the company pays for and takes care of for you. And then after that, you're on your own. You're like baby to your toddler steps now that you have to take. So they had their own thing with some other classmates that they had that we all graduated with, but they were like, we have separate classes. They had to split it up because too many people couldn't be in one room. So, and then I paid for a hotel for a month. So I paid for a hotel for a month. The young lady, so her mom friend had a friend at our base that we are based at that had a place. So they had 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, but they also lived in the house. The couple did. So it was their house, but they had a 3-bedroom house, but they had 2 rooms available. So I got my own room, and then the other 2 young ladies, they end up sharing a room. So we're all living in this house together like one big old happy family, right? So then after we were still looking for an apartment, like we're looking like crazy, we're trying to figure out our budget, and I was a little more open than what I should have been, and I think me and the other girl were a little bit more open than we should have been about our budget. And the other girl, she was like, that's too much. Like, I'm not paying that. And I totally understand, because I'm like, dang, what was I thinking, like being okay with that amount? So we were trying to look for a place. We found some, but some were further from the airport, and you have to cover a certain amount of airport locations, and like I said, gas and all that stuff comes into play when it comes to spending money and being a new hire, because you only make so much money your first year. Well, pretty much, yeah. So we did not end up finding anything, because where we're based, it's expensive here. So the other girl, and for her lifestyle, it was easier for her to transfer to another base because it was easier to go visit her family. And so she ended up transferring. So she moved out of the house that we were all staying in. So she moved out, and then the people, they were going to take the price of because they charged for the room, not for the bed, because they had their room, but they had 2 beds, and then I had my own room. So when she moved out, they were going to take the price up. So I moved into the room with the other girl, and then I found somebody to move into my room. So me and the other girl, we still looking for an apartment. We trying to figure out our budget and what we're each willing to pay. But this amount, trying to pay rent and other bills, And then I'm like, well, shoot, we could pick up extra trips, blah, blah, blah. But then you're working like crazy and you're never home, right? So we were having our budget was a little too high for what we really could initially, like, I feel like afford, because if you want to enjoy your life and you want to enjoy your job and you want to have fun, paying between $1,400, like paying $1,000 to $1,400 each, $1,000 each, okay, maybe, but $1,400 to $1,600 each, that's a lot for a place that you probably gonna be in a few times a month, right? So me and the other girl, we're looking and looking and looking. We're trying to find a place, and she found a realtor with another flight attendant that she flew with that had a boyfriend that her husband, I think he's a realtor. So he, signs up for the little list where you can look at apartments. And so every time we found one that we thought was reasonable, like actually reasonable, that we could afford each, it wasn't available. And it's like, well, why is it on the list? Okay. So, I got to the point where I was like, well, let's just save and let's stay here till December, January. Let's save as much money as we can, because we both ended up spending our savings because we had some stuff to take care of. And I was like, I know we both wanted to be out of here sooner than that, but let's be smart about it, because we want to have an emergency savings just in case something happens or we run it short. Like with the salary, I can't back you up and you can't back me up. If we're just living, because we were and are living paycheck to paycheck. So we had to have something saved. Like, there was no way. Like, we needed to have at least 3 or 4 months rent saved in a savings account for an emergency, just in case something is to happen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, look, I know we wanted to be out of here, but it's hard to find a place. Like, it's expensive out here, and I don't want to break my pockets trying to live a luxury life knowing I can't afford it and I'm struggling in real life. Like, I'm just not with that. That's not the kind of person I am. I'm not saying that she's that kind of person either, but I'm just saying in general terms, like, I'm not finna do that. And so she was cool with it, but she didn't want to stay that long. I'm like, I know, girl. Like, I don't want to either. I know we want our own place because we want to be able to do our own thing. We want to have our own company, our own environment and our own space. We're 2 adult women. We have a temporary living situation that we're not trying to temporarily be in for a long term, which I totally get that. But like I said, the way the salary set up, you can only do so much. So I started getting to the point where I was getting frustrated, because I'm like, I'm just gonna quit and get an office job, because what is this? How am I supposed to live off this? I've been flying for 6 years, you guys. When you're young and you're excited about this industry, and I'm still excited about it every day. I love what I do for a living. I honestly do. I'm not even joking with you. But when you're young, you don't really be caring about that stuff. I started flying when I was 23. I'm about to be 30 years old next year. And, now things are like, finances for me, I'm like, well, I want to stay here where I'm at. I like my base. I like the flying. But what can I afford? And I'm a mother. So I got a reality check real quick. And more so, I think it came into play because I'm a mom. Like, you can only, for me, I can only do so much. If I didn't have a child, then of course I probably would have still been a little more careless. Like, oh girl, we finna find something. We finna pay whatever we gotta pay so we can have a place, blah, 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 whatever. Get a side job or a second job. I don't know. So for me, I started getting frustrated and upset, because I'm like, did I make a mistake? Is this worth it? Do I need to find a second job? Should I get an office job? Should I, apply within the company for a different job so I can have a better pay, a better living wage? Because my wage is technically, in my opinion, it's not necessarily livable. When you're an adult and you have things that you have to take care of, you have bills to pay, and you just got things you want to get paid off. Like me, I have $5,000 of credit card debt. Well, it's a little less now because I made some payments. I was finally able to make some payments because I worked my butt off. But just even something like that is a burden because you feel like, what is this? So I just started getting frustrated. I started getting frustrated. I started rethinking, what am I doing with myself? I'm training to become a pilot, and I haven't even been able to fly in 2 years for my pilot training. And I'm like, I can't even afford to go flying or take flying lessons right now. I'm trying to get in and finish my pilot training and do that, because that's definitely a livable wage for sure. And it depends on how much money you like to spend. But I know, even as my first year as a pilot, I know I'll be good. The flight attendant, it's a struggle bubble out here for us. Not even gonna lie. We definitely deserve a lot more. Whether people think our job is easy, whether you consider us a waitress in the sky, that's not what we are. We got a lot of titles to ourselves. And for me, when I'm financially frustrated, I feel like I'm bothered by everything. I feel like everything is just bothersome. I can't focus. I can't, and I don't mean focus, obviously when I'm at work and I'm on my job, yes. When I'm being a mom, I'm doing my job. But when I'm in my own personal space, I'm just you have all these thoughts in your head because you want to be happy. I left another career to do this, and I've been doing this ever since, because I do personally love what I do. I enjoy being a flight attendant. I do. And I cannot wait to transition over to becoming a pilot. So I started watching YouTube videos, and I'll put the links of the people that I enjoyed watching that more so pushed me to coming to this conclusion about living in my car. And I was just well, I'm personally one of the people, I really don't care what nobody think about me, to be honest. People are gonna have their opinions. People will smile in your face and talk behind your back. That's what people do. I can't live my life based off of everybody else's opinion and what they feel. What is that doing for me? They not paying my bills. They not helping me out. So why would I feel some type of way? So I had watched these YouTube videos about car life, and I was just well, I got a car. I already been having a gym membership, and I ain't been going to the gym. I can start working out. I can go to the beach, and I can finally take trips on my days off that I would love to do, and go see my child and work extra and be cool with that. Because I've been picking up a lot of trips, and I've only been when I was living at the place, I'd only been there a few times a night, working like crazy, and I'm still working like crazy right now to make sure I have something that's livable. So I decided one day, I told the people a month in advance. I told the young lady, that I was sharing a room with, I was like, look, I'm going to be moving, and you'll have to find another replacement for the room, so you don't have to pay more than what you need to. And I definitely gave 30 days for that, so I was appropriate about that. But then I was going back and forth with myself as to whether or not I was actually really going to move into my car, or if I was just screw it, I'll just keep paying this $600 and something and share a room and drive myself crazy because I'm trying to pay off this debt and I want to be happy. So the day before, I was in anxiety real bad. I'm thinking nah, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna move my car. I'm crazy. And I ended up doing it the next day finally. So now I'm living in my car. Now you might wonder, well, why don't you transfer somewhere where you can afford to live in an apartment? And I thought about that. I did. But where I'm based, I love the flying. There are actually some really good crew members that I've flown with, some amazing people that I've met, that I've just gotten to talk to and enjoy their company, and I love it. And I don't want to transfer to a different base, get myself together, and then try to come back to this base, and then I can't get back in because now they got too many people, because they filling this base up. So I was like, well, sacrifice my living situation, and not really sacrifice, but change my living situation or change my base and still kind of struggle a little bit. And I was like, wait, did that make sense? So yeah. Okay, so I decided to live in my car and be happy living in my car. I got a gym membership. Like I said, I got my fan here. Okay, I got this fan. I did a lot of research and watched a lot of YouTube. Got my battery back here so I can have air circulation. 8 hours on low, 4 hours on high. And I'm good. I keep it on low. Got my pee bottle back there. And like I said, I got my gym membership. So I can work out and wash my quarter box. So I'm set. And then I have hotels that I stay in for my layovers for work. What more could I ask for? Right? That's real nomadic. So this is that's the reason why I'm living in my car. I made a sacrifice. And so far it actually hasn't been bad. I know some people are like, oh my God, I could not live in a car. Like, you do that, like blah blah blah. Like, when I say I watch so many YouTube videos for a month straight, I watched videos, I took notes in my head, and I decided that this was the best decision for me to pay off my debt, to start back flying so I can continue on with my pilot journey and to complete that. And then I'm just gonna do van life. You know, once I pay off my little bit of debt that I owe, I'm gonna buy me a van. I'm gonna do my van up the way that I want to do it, and you know, buy it outright, so that I don't have to worry about making no payments on nothing. I'll just take care of my regular bills. So that's the reason why I'm in my car. This is what I can afford with my salary, is to live in my car. I don't believe in struggling. And some of you might say, well, you're living in your car, sweetheart, so you're struggling. No, I'm living in a car that I pay for. This is my home. Like, I pay for this. I can live in it. I pay for it. Why not? So it was either that or keep struggling, trying to make ends meet, and then not being fully happy. And I've actually been so happy and relieved. Like, I'm actually able to take care of things that I need to take care of and get done. Like, I'm on my way there. I've been trying to pay off my credit card debt since June, and it's about to be December. I was actually finally able to make a large payment, and I've been trying to do this for months, but I couldn't because bills, rent, the salary. So this is livable for me, and I'm happy. Like I said, I'm clean. I wash myself, brush my teeth, got a pee bottle when I gotta go use the bathroom if I'm in a car overnight, and my blankets, my pillows, everything I need. I have all the necessities. So if you're in a situation like myself, and you don't have to be a flight attendant to be living in your car. There's people that live in their car that because they felt the same way. And don't get me wrong, they have places where you can do where you can apply for income restrictions, because majority of flight attendants don't qualify for Section 8, but they do qualify for income restricted living due to the salary being paid. And I could have did that, but I didn't want to do that because it just seemed like too much. And then what if I make a whole crap ton of money 1 year and then I go to reapply for my assisted living for the income restriction, and then they're like, oh, well, now you don't qualify anymore because you made this much money last year, so now you really got to go find something. So I just didn't want to deal with that. So that is my truth as to why I am living in my car, and I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm good. It's crazy. It's interesting. It's like a shocker, but you have to do what's best for you, and that is okay. I don't have anybody to blame. I don't have anyone to be upset with. I had to do what I felt was necessary for me to move forward and to get done what I wanted to get done and needed to get done. And I'm comfortable. I'm very comfortable. It's shocking because I didn't know for myself. I was questioning myself like, oh my God, like, am I going to really be able to do this? I really was. And I did it. And I'm going on week 2. So I will definitely be having a video of how I do my setup eventually. I definitely want to do that so you guys can see. But thank you for tuning in. Now you know why I'm living in my car. So please watch, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. You know, not everybody, a lot of times you get to see the glitz and glam, but this is glitz, glam, and the real. You can still be cute living in your car. You can still do things, and I can't wait to share more things with you guys in the future regarding this journey. And once again, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share, comment, be nice, and thank you for watching me. Have a wonderful night, because I'm finna go on 5 and Below and walk around for a little bit, and then probably going to Ross, walk around for a little bit, do some window shopping, eye shopping really, and then I'm gonna go to the gym, shower, get situated.